Again, good to see you. He's got another super chat. He says, also, margin calls in South Korea due to their struggling market. We need this to happen in Japan to help move the reverse carry trade. Is that right? Also, full DTCC launch is our next important date to watch. I don't think so. I'm going to continue to say that stable coins being launched at scale is what's going to bring liquidity into crypto, alongside ETF volume and demand for certain digital assets to settle stable coins, to be able to stabilize the market. So I think the last puzzle piece that we're waiting for, and this doesn't mean that the next day or right when it happens or any of that this all unwinds, okay? But like I said, they've been very methodical about this. So once they have issued guidance for stablecoins, banks then have the green light to start issuing stablecoins at scale and buying treasuries. And they're going to need the treasuries to be able to issue the stablecoins. So at that point, it actually makes sense that the U.S. would say, go, and let it unwind, and then we can roll. And they will drive a bunch of liquidity into crypto through that mechanism, and the ETFs. Tether probably has problems at that point. Maybe the U.S. sanctions Tether because it doesn't meet the OCC and all these other requirements for the guidance that has been issued. They do have 3-year moratorium on that, so probably not. But we'll see, if there are illicit transactions that are happening on that network, or that's what Iran is using to toll the strait. There would be good reason for the U.S. to go ahead and sanction Tether, which, I didn't even bring that up, by the way. This was Neil, who works at Ripple. I can't think of Neil's last name. I was having a debate between myself and Scams. You guys know Scams over there on Twitter, that I have the bet for the end of this year for $750 XRP with. He actually butted into the conversation and said, I don't think it's going to depeg, but there's a possibility that they would sanction them. And I'm like, this guy's a developer at Ripple. And now we've seen Ripple move away from USDT, right? They were using that in their ODL product. They now have their own ROUSD. Maybe they acquire Circle and USDC. We'll see on that one. But most everybody that I'm aware of has mitigated all of their exposure to Tether at this point. And it wouldn't be surprising to me, now that they don't meet the MiCA or MiCA standards, however you want to say it, that there is some type of sanction issued against them when all this plays out.